my reliable and patient Taurus friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. At Taurus, this week begins with a quiet tension you've likely carried for some time, an undercurrent that never quite leaves, even when the world around you seems calm. There's a sense of delay, as if the rhythm of life is slightly out of sync with your desires. You feel the pull to move forward, yet something inside asks you to pause, to wait, to notice what's truly unfolding. It's a strange in-between, not quite stillness, not quite motion. Maybe you're holding onto a decision, or the ache of wanting something to change without knowing how or when. There's comfort in your routines, but beneath that comfort, a restlessness simmers like a question you haven't spoken out loud. The world expects steadiness from you, and most days you provide it. But this week, an unspoken longing for clarity and movement hums through your days, coloring your interactions and the way you see yourself. This is not a dramatic struggle, but it is real, a subtle, persistent awareness that something vital waits in the wings, asking for your attention even as you go about what's necessary. You're sitting with a pause, Taurus, whether you chose it or it chose you. The Hanged Man appears in the texture of your days, not as a dramatic reversal, but as a gentle suspension. There's a sense that you're looking at things from a different angle now, maybe born of necessity, maybe from fatigue. You might notice how your usual certainties have softened around the edges. The world keeps moving, yet you linger a beat longer in the doorway, in the conversation, in your own internal world. There's a hush to your thoughts, a waiting that isn't empty but quietly purposeful. It can feel vulnerable to not have all the answers, especially when you're so used to knowing where you stand. Perhaps you feel both the weight and the relief of surrendering to what is, instead of pushing for what could be. In this space, time feels elastic. One moment stretches into the next, and you catch yourself observing rather than acting. There can be frustration here, a breath held too long, yet also a tenderness, a recognition that this pause is not a punishment but an invitation to see more deeply. Unspoken tension gathers in your shoulders, in the way you hesitate before speaking or deciding. There's a longing to move, to resolve, to act decisively, but for now you're suspended and the world looks different from this vantage. The feeling is neither defeat nor triumph. It's a quiet, honest reckoning with what you cannot control. And within that honest pause, you begin to sense a subtle shift, a readiness that's growing even as you wait. It's from this inner hush, from this slow, surrendered waiting, that your path begins to stir. The stillness has a way of amplifying every urge for change, every flicker of restlessness. As the days move forward, you notice momentum gathering like a distant storm. The pressure to act, to break free from the pause, grows more insistent. What starts as a subtle longing becomes a spark, then a steady flame. The more you sit with your discomfort, the more alive your desire to move becomes. But this is no sudden leap. It's a gradual build, a friction between the comfort of waiting and the impulse to charge ahead. It's as if the pause itself sharpens your awareness of the roads available to you, each one calling for a different kind of courage. The tension between stillness and action is not accidental. It's the very thing that will ignite your next steps. With the Knight of Wands coloring your path, this week becomes a stage for momentum, for the lively friction of desire meeting reality. The energy around you shifts from passive to active, as if you're being gently nudged, or sometimes pushed, toward movement. You might feel urges rising that are hard to explain, a sense of impatience with waiting, a craving for change that feels almost physical. The routines that once comforted you may now feel confining, as if your skin is too tight. Opportunities and challenges alike present themselves, not in dramatic fashion, but in a series of small, insistent moments. A conversation that lights a spark, an idea that won't let you rest, a minor setback that stirs something deeper than annoyance. There's a heat to these days, a friction that both energizes and unsettles. You might notice yourself wanting to take a risk, to say what you've been holding back, to move forward even if the outcome isn't clear. The world feels more dynamic, less predictable. This shift can be exhilarating, but it also brings the discomfort of not knowing exactly where you're headed. The pressure to act is real, and it tests both your patience and your willingness to step into the unknown. Each day, you balance the urge to leap with the wisdom of your recent pause. The path is not without obstacles: doubt, fear of overreaching, the memory of what it feels like to lose your footing. But the drive to move, to create, to kindle something new persists. The friction is not your enemy. It is the living proof that you're ready for something more. Movement isn't always graceful at first, and you may stumble, but beneath it all, there's a growing confidence, an understanding that the pause has prepared you for this very momentum. The energy of this path feeds directly into what becomes possible when you meet the moment with clear eyes and an open heart. Everything that unfolds next depends on how fully you choose to engage, not with blind optimism, but with grounded awareness. The potential of this week is not a guarantee. It's an invitation, one that only takes shape as you move with intention. The Knight of Swords stands as your invitation to clarity and purposeful action. There's a sharpness to this energy, a readiness to cut through confusion and move toward what matters. After the slow wait and the restless stirring, there is a clean, bracing sense of knowing. This is not about bravado or recklessness. It's about trusting your perception, letting your words and actions align, and stepping forward with a sense of direction, even if the landscape ahead is still coming into focus. The possibility here is not about winning or achieving more, but about becoming more honest, more direct, more willing to say yes or no without apology. Growth arrives in the way you claim your own authority, in the courage to speak your truth even when it feels risky. The invitation is to let your insight guide you, to let your mind and heart work together in service of what matters most. The confidence that grows is not loud. It's steady, rooted in the awareness that you have lingered in the pause, wrestled with the urge to move, and are now ready to act with a clarity that is unmistakably your own. This is your chance to move decisively, not as an escape from uncertainty, but as a conscious embrace of it. The week's potential opens as you allow yourself to be seen, heard, and known in your authenticity. Looking back over these days, the story of your week comes into focus. The Hanged Man brings the necessary pause, a gentle holding that allows everything else to unfold. The Knight of Wands stirs the embers, pushing you into movement, inviting you to feel the friction and let it energize rather than exhaust you. The Knight of Swords arrives as a clear wind, offering the confidence to act, to name what you've discovered in your waiting and striving. Each stage draws from the last. The period of waiting was not wasted. It made space for real desire to surface. The friction of action is not a sign of failure but of possibility. And the clarity that emerges is not imposed from outside, but called forth from the depths of your own experience. It's natural to wish the process were quicker, neater, easier. But this week, every pause, every restless urge, every bold decision is part of a single living rhythm. You move from suspension to action to understanding, and through it all you remain grounded in who you are. The reassurance is this: even when you feel caught between longing and certainty, you are never truly stagnant. The inner movement is as real, as necessary, as any outward step. By the end of this week, you may find that what once felt like waiting was, in fact, a gentle preparation for a new kind of clarity. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be, learning to trust both your timing and your instincts. Actionable insights for Taurus this week. Notice when you feel pulled in two directions, and give yourself a moment to pause before choosing what comes next. Try letting yourself speak one honest thought aloud, even if it feels small or unfinished. Let your body move in a way that feels different from your routine, whether it's a slower walk, a stretch, or a dance in your living room. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. My pause is meaningful, not wasted. I can sense when it's time to move. Every tension reveals my strength and my care. I choose clarity and I trust my own timing. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.